this video we're going to discuss audio hardware, audio MIDI interface, and monitors. So first of all, I'm Shayne Lawrence. I'm in the industrial metal hip hop project Twitch, and this is obviously the third part in a 5-part series of getting into making industrial music. So, let's talk about audio hardware, audio MIDI interfaces. I'm gonna start with where to start. So you've purchased your computer, or you may already have a computer. You've tried out the software you want to try out. You've purchased the software, and now you need a proper recording device. There's a lot of options. I might leave a couple of links to some pieces that I think are affordable. Where to start? So let's first you're gonna need an audio MIDI interface. So, and the reason why is because say you want to record vocals, you can use the inbuilt sound card in your desktop or your laptop, but typically it's shitty audio quality and it doesn't process the audio quickly enough. So and which means you'll get like glitches or clicks or missing parts of the audio. So audio MIDI interface, little device, maybe that big, maybe smaller, maybe bigger. Has all the audio inputs and outputs that you need. Most of them have XLR connections or dual XLR quarter-inch connections, and most of them nowadays are USB, so you can just plug it into your USB. Sometimes you don't even need a power cable, and you just plug it into your USB, and the USB powers the device. But if that's not the case, then obviously you'll have to plug it in and stuff. You'll also need an audio MIDI interface, because if you're doing any kind of not just recording audio, but recording MIDI. So some audio interfaces do not have MIDI connections, so you might want to. It depends on what your end goal is. Do you want to record synthesizer parts or MIDI parts, MIDI sequences or whatever, or are you just interested in recording guitar and vocals or whatever it is? So you'll need a MIDI connection on the back of your audio MIDI interface to plug into your audio MIDI interface device, and that goes through the USB into your computer, and then you can capture your performances as if it'll capture your performance as if the MIDI performance as if pretty much exactly the way you performed it. So not to get into too many details here, but you capture the performance, you tweak things the way you want to, then to record if you're using a hardware synthesizer, to record the audio. What you would do is you set up your MIDI. After you've recorded your MIDI performance, you set up the audio, or this is the way I do it. I set up the audio, and then you basically hit record and make sure your synthesizer audio is going into the audio MIDI interface, and then the MIDI will trigger the synthesizer notes that you had played previously and record those notes in, get your performance that way. And that you don't necessarily need a MIDI. I would suggest if I guess it depends on what your direction you're going. With industrial music, like I like tactile stuff, so you know, having this is very handy because then I can play the parts and then capture those parts and then record the audio after I've tweaked things here and there, and whether it's audio tweaks or sound design tweaks or tweaking the quantization and stuff like that in the song. And in the end, you have to figure out what you're wanting to do. And I'll just get into what I chose and why, and kind of get into the logic of why I chose the audio MIDI interface that I did. So, got FL Studio. I was using the internal sound card on the PC, and obviously it's not as good quality as an audio MIDI interface, and I knew that I wanted to, you know, for me, it has a dual use. The audio MIDI interface has a dual use. So for me, you know, it's not only recording synthesizer parts or MIDI parts, and then or guitars or vocals. It's also for the live show as well. For me, I thought about those things, like how I was going to use it, because I didn't want to buy something and then go, oh, okay, well, this doesn't do what I want it to fucking do exactly, so I'm gonna have to go and buy another one. For me, I think of the long term and what I want to do and what I want to achieve and stuff. So so I knew I was going to do a lot of recording, and I also knew I was going to utilize it for the live show, and I want to be able to connect, you know, tons of instruments up at the same time if I need to it, or connect my synthesizer up to it, or run multiple outs to the front of house when I'm playing a live show or whatever it is. So I chose a MOTU Ultralite MK3 hybrid, and the reason why I chose that one is because lots of inputs, lots of outputs. I think there's 10 inputs and 8 or 9 outputs or something. Maybe it's 8. Yeah, 8 outputs. And then there's also a FireWire connection. I don't use the FireWire, but I use the USB on it. It obviously has a USB connection. It has MIDI in and outs, which is what else I was looking for, because I wanted to be able to capture my synthesizer performances and then record those into the software, and you know, be able to tweak the performances, like the quantization and all that kind of stuff. So something else you're gonna have to consider is how you're getting the audio to your ears. So I use a combination of headphones and monitors, monitor speakers. I don't know if you can see it there, but that's a monitor speaker. There's another one on that side. You don't have to have monitors. I suggest monitors because you know, you kind of want to have an idea of what your music sounds like. Of course, there's, you know, monitors are generally supposed to be very unbiased in their frequency ranges. So they're supposed to be, but they're not all that way. But which gets into a whole nother issue with recording with monitors and then making sure it sounds good on a regular computer system or iPhone headphones, or you know, in a car or something like that. So, but that's an entirely other subject. I'm not going to get into that right now. But I wanted to be able to hear what I was creating and have a very fair, you know, a semi unbiased reflection of what the sound is going to be like on, you know, on computers or a car, in a car, or on my iPhone, or iPod or iPhone headphones, or even in a you know, a venue when I'm playing live. And that's why I chose monitors. I also use headphones. I just generally just plug my headphones into the headphone output audio MIDI interface, and I use iPhone headphones. Probably not the best to do. You should probably get some decent monitoring headphones, but I use iPhone headphones because, well, I just don't want to purchase monitoring headphones right now because I don't really have a use for them right now. So that is a future purchase though for me. But yeah, you wanna get it from your computer out into your ears. So I chose the MOTU BX5s. That's what I would suggest for anyone that wants to use monitors. Is get something entry level rather than going for the most expensive stuff, because you don't need to be buying monitors that are worth more than your computer or your audio MIDI interface or anything like that. So out of all honesty, just get entry level stuff. You don't need to be spending a lot of money unless you know for a fact that you're going to be using your your audio MIDI interface with multiple inputs for recording, multiple outputs for live shows and stuff like that, or running clicks to your drummer or whatever it is. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you have questions regarding audio MIDI interfaces, like I said, I'm probably going to put some recommendations and links to some pieces that I recommend for starter starter gear. And you don't need a lot to get started. If you don't know if you're going to be playing live, then then it's not a big concern. Even with the starter stuff, you can still play live with it. I just chose mine because I knew I was going to utilize all the channels and stuff like that. And yeah, so if you have any questions, please comment. If you enjoyed this video and you feel it's valuable for your friends or whoever you're trying to get into your band or whatever, please share it with them. And if you enjoy the content on this channel, please subscribe. So thank you very much. See you in the next video, fuckers.